At the end of the last episode, Link died. And that can only mean one thing. He's headed for the graveyard. So this area is found just behind Kakariko Village, which we can just about see over those trees there. In fact, we can still hear the sails of the windmill going around and around and around. But there's no peaceful music here. Just the quiet, just the wind. R.I.P. Here lie the souls of those who swore fealty to the royal family of Hyrule. The Sheikah, guardians of the royal family and founders of Kakariko, watch over these spirits in their eternal slumber. So this is where the royal family and those loyal to them are buried. And we do, there's actually a sign up here. I do know that this translates, you can translate this, and I think it just says Welcome Kakariko Cemetery, which is still useful, still interesting. What would Saria say if we told her we're going to save Hyrule? Little hint from Navi there on what we should be doing at this point in the game. But first, we're going to explore the graveyard. There's a couple of things for us to grab. First off, if I do that, and put a bug in my bottle. That'll be useful for just a minute's time. But yeah, there's a few important things that we need in the graveyard. A couple of collectibles throughout the game. But we'll go and see Saria. We'll listen to Navi. So yeah, the graveyard... Actually, first I'll do this. I started doing it and then immediately forgot. So these soft patches of soil, there's actually multiple things you can do with them. But at the moment, we can interact with them using bugs. If we have Link empty the bugs nearby... one of them eventually will actually I'm going to use this to just pick up this one, and you see two of them just went down, so we can replenish our bug supply, but two of them fell into the hole and a gold Skulltula comes out. So I think this is kind of a I think this is kind of an example of a trapdoor spider, which is a real thing. You know, in our world there are spiders that kind of bury themselves just underground to create these traps for bugs to fall into, and I think that's what's going on here. But in Kakariko Graveyard, there's a few things to do. There's a little bit of grave robbing we can do. Although Dampé isn't awake at the moment. Isn't around at the moment. He's asleep. If we try and enter his shack, we get, "Be quiet. It's only 15:06. I, Dampé the Gravekeeper, am in bed now. Go away and play. Maybe you can find a ghost in the daytime." So yeah, Dampé lives in this little shack, which we can eventually enter, just not at this point. At this time, there's another resident in the graveyard. This little kid over here. What's he got to say? Little kids can't go on the heart-pounding grave digging tour described on the sign. Since I can't do that, I'm just imitating Dampé the Gravekeeper all day. But with my cute face, I'm not heart-pounding at all, am I? I don't know. There's something about a little kid walking around a graveyard pretending to be a grave digger, a gravekeeper, that's a little bit heart-pounding, in my opinion. But, you know, everyone's got to have a hobby. So you can move the gravestones, although I think... Yeah, at this time, we get told off. Don't cause trouble. I'll tell Dampé. So we can't move any at this time, but the little kid's not here the whole time. Dampé's here at different hours. And there are periods of time where the graveyard's completely empty, so we can do what we want. But we can still interact with this. So there's a big gravestone up here. The rain falls. I don't think we can read it. Oh, we can read it. Royal Family's Tomb. Okay, so we can interact with this. So you see there's a mark of the Triforce on the ground, which is a hint. Do I have Malkarina on? I think I do. Not Deku Nut. There we go. This is going to become a thing. You're just going to see me throw Deku Nuts at inappropriate times throughout this playthrough because I don't have my C buttons on the screen, so I forget where I've put my items. And if you remember what Impa was saying in the last episode, which is that Zelda's Lullaby not only proves our connection to the royal family, but also that these notes have some kind of inherent magic to them. Magical lightning strikes the royal family's tomb and opens the way down into the crypt where the royal family are buried. But this isn't the only interesting gravestone connected to the Sheikah and to the royal family in this part of the graveyard. There's obviously this one, the royal family's tomb, in the centre, but then there are also 2 gravestones that flank it. There's this one here, which has the symbol of a sun, a winged sun, and over here a grave with the symbol of a winged moon. So twin graves flanking this, and if we go up to them you can actually interact with these graves. Royal Composer Brothers, Flat the Younger, rest in peace. And here he is, here is Flat the Younger, a Poe, or Poe of the Graveyard, with a question mark. So it's the deceased, the spirit of a deceased composer brother, who are obviously very important to the royal family, considering that they're buried not only in this graveyard, which is where servants of the royal family are laid to rest, but in kind of positions of honour, flanking the royal family's tomb. But they've mistaken us for someone, so if we fight them off, we can speak to the lingering spirit here. Gah! You killed me! Unbelievable! Oh, what? You're not one of Ganondorf's men, are you? Because of my role as a ghost, I had to act like that. I apologise. Now then, let me introduce myself. I am one of the ghostly composer brothers of Kakariko Village. All the people in this village are born to serve the royal family of Hyrule. We brothers also served the royal family and were assigned to study the hereditary mystic powers of the family, though we never could figure out the power of the Triforce. We had almost completed our study of controlling time with the tones of ocarinas. Actually, we did complete that study. We would have been famous if that hateful Ganondorf had not tried to steal our results. We could never let him reap the fruits of our research. That's why we gave our lives to protect the secret. Do you want to hear what I said again? So, yeah, straight from that, although we can also get more lore if we speak to this grave, of apparently Sharp the elder of the 2 composer brothers. Also worth noting that this is a red mustachioed brother, whereas the other one was a green mustachioed brother. So, obviously, another little reference to the Mario Bros here, but also you can see the mark of the Triforce on them there. But from the younger, from Flat the Younger, we can kind of assume that these are Sheikah, the ghosts of Sheikah, since they lived in Kakariko, served the royal family. Gah, I'm dead again! What? You again? Somehow, you remind me of Princess Zelda. Since you may have some connection with the royal family, I will tell you a little more of our tale. Back then, people called us great composers because of the many musical masterpieces we wrote. But we brothers were not just composers. We had a mission to analyze the mysterious powers of Hyrule's royal family. Our names would be a part of Hyrule's history if we could complete our research. We kept our study extremely secret until we completed it. To tell the truth, each of us was studying a different song, one to summon the sun and another to summon the moon. If you were really sent by a member of the royal family, I will tell you about the results of our study. We inscribed it on the royal tombstone. As a messenger of the royal family, you should show your royal credentials on top of the Triforce mark. We've already done that. Do you want to hear what he said again? So that is some of the most interesting lore, for me, in Ocarina of Time. It's just absolutely fascinating, and it's completely optional. You don't have to interact with the Composer Brothers here, these 2 graves flanking the royal family's tomb. But it's just so rewarding to do so, because you learn so much about Kakariko, this graveyard, the royal family, and also Ganondorf. Crucially, we learn something that Ganondorf was doing before the events of the game. Obviously, in the last episode, we got our first proper glimpse at Ganondorf as the man with the evil eyes, swearing fealty to the King of Hyrule. But we know that not long before the events of the game, considering that these spirits know of Princess Zelda, who's quite young, Ganondorf killed these 2 composer brothers in cold blood. So perhaps showing fealty was a way to make amends, although, as Zelda says, he's not sincere. We also learn that these guys were composing songs that use the inherent magic of ocarinas. We learn from Kaepora Gabora slightly later on that ocarina notes have magical powers. We know that Zelda's Lullaby is a magical song, and yeah, these guys composed another song, one that controls the flow of time, which we can learn in the royal family's tomb. And immediately you can hear the combat music. Immediately this is a pretty uninviting place. And that's because of these guys. We've got Keese. Actually, I'll get Navi to read one of them. Here you go. Keese. And then, again, no lore, just tells us how to beat them. You know, Z target them. And they're not too difficult. Just smash them like that. Is that all of them, or is there one more? I can still hear combat music. Ah, there's this guy here. There we go. And doing that allows us to proceed. But before we do, a couple of interesting things here. Obviously, chief among them, we're full of, you know, in a room full of bones. And while some of them, you know, could potentially be a member of the royal family, it doesn't seem like a good burial for someone as important as that. And then how do you describe, how do you explain these things? These skulls don't look like royal family members. They're kind of monster skulls, which is, yeah, very, very disturbing. But there's a couple more interesting things here. If we go near this skeleton, we can talk to him. Those who break into the royal tomb will be obstructed by the lurkers in the dark. So very ominous, and I don't know whether we're meant to believe that we're talking to a skeleton, or perhaps there's an inscription. You know, maybe there's some sort of carving somewhere that links reading. Very creepy. And I think this guy over here as well. Shine light on the living dead. So very, very spooky. Got a couple of suggestions of what's going to happen next. What we've got awaiting us. We are disturbing the royal family's tomb, so we have to expect the lurkers in the dark. So in this chamber, the royal family's tomb, where these kind of noxious green fumes are rising from poisonous pools, we can see a re-dead. So these are obviously one of the most horrifying enemies in the Zelda series. I'll see if I can get a better look at this one here. So they're tall, emaciated, corpse-like things, kind of like zombies. They don't seem fully skeletal. They're not like the Stalfos. They still do have some flesh on their bones. But then they wear these masks, kind of carved from old wood. And if we go near one, it screams and paralyzes us. And if we let it... shall I let it grab me? I'm only on 3 hearts. I don't want to die. I'll let it grab me anyway, just to show what it does. So I think you can mash to get out. But yeah, it hugs you and begins kind of chomping on your brain. Or, yeah, horrible, horrible thing. Really, really creepy. But there's a lot of interesting things with the Re-Deads. So they're obviously enemies. But the fact that they're found here in the royal family's tomb, and they're found in a few other places, you know, throughout the game. We also see them in other games in the series, like the Wind Waker and the Earth Temple, mainly. But I think it's not a stretch to believe that these Re-Deads perhaps were placed here deliberately in the royal family's tomb to protect it from the outsiders, or from people who aren't as strong as Link to kind of overcome them and get through. And there's multiple reasons I believe that, particularly the Wind Waker strengthens this theory, because they're found obviously in the Earth Temple, which is very connected to the royal family and to the sages whose prayers bless the Master Sword. But there's not only Re-Deads throughout the dungeon, there's a giant statue of a Re-Dead in the dungeon, which must have been built by the royal family or people connected to them. So there is precedent for the royal family seemingly using these things to protect their holy sites. So I don't think it's a stretch to believe that's what's going on here. But yeah, let's try and get past these guys without dying. Ugh. Straight down the spine. That's horrible. But now let's head through here into the back room of the royal family's tomb. We see this. There's a carving here. We can't read this, although I don't think this translates to anything important. Again, if I'm wrong on that, I'll have a Google and I'll put that on screen if it does actually translate to anything. This Hyrulean text here. But what's important is this down here, where we have some ocarina notes seemingly hastily scratched into this tomb. So if we whip out our ocarina, oh, maybe I need to be closer for it. Oh, there you go. This poem is dedicated to the memory of the dearly departed members of the royal family. A rising sun will eventually set. A newborn's life will fade. From sun to moon, moon to sun, give peaceful rest to the living dead. This is an interesting poem, huh? Something is inscribed on the tombstone. It's the secret melody of the Composer Brothers. Our second ocarina song, the Sun Song. One of the most useful in the game. Can turn day to night and night to day. You've learned the Sun Song, giving us some control over time, which is very, very useful, because there's different things that can happen at different times. Restless souls wander where they don't belong. Bring them calm with the Sun's Song. There's a little mark of the Triforce up there. Yeah, because the royal family have a long history with the Sheikah. Actually, I'll just show something with the Redead first before I talk about that. So in here, we've got these Redeads, who are very, very spooky. But if we whip out our ocarina, and if we play the Sun Song, we can bring light to the living dead, which paralyzes them. And then we can walk past undisturbed. Yeah, the royal family have a long history with the Sheikah tribe. So, like the old man in Castletown said, they are the shadows of the royal family. They're servants to the royal family who kind of do their dirty work. Again, it's very, very interesting that we have here the royal family's tomb found in Kakariko village. It's not the only secret connected to the royal family in Kakariko Village Graveyard, but that's for later years. But for now, we've gained the ability to turn night to day and day to night. And since it's night now, Dampé is out, so we can have a chat with him about what he's up to. Hey kid, don't mess around with the graves. I'm Dampé the Gravekeeper. My face may be scary, but I'm not a bad guy. Let me give you an advertisement for my side business. Dampé the Gravekeeper's heart-pounding grave-digging tour. What's going to come out? What's going to come out? When I start digging, we'll find out. Do you want me to dig here? 10 rupees for one hole. I don't think you're actually over a prop... Oh, maybe you would have done. But yeah, you can wait for Dampé to walk around and have him dig on these soft patches of soil in front of the graves. And you keep whatever it is that he digs up. So the main item that we'll be looking for in this is a piece of heart. And I think it's completely random. I don't think there's a trick to this. I think you just... Why have you stopped? Did I get too close? Or okay. I think it's completely random, but the item we'll be looking for is a piece of heart. So in a second, when he makes that turn, just so the patch of soil is just ahead of him, yeah, we'll have you dig here. Do you want me to dig here? Yes, and we'll see what we get. Hey, there you go. So we made 10 rupees with that. So we paid 10 and got 20 back, so that's not too bad. Can't complain about that. And we'll have him dig here again. So this is Dampé's first appearance in the Zelda series, although he's, gone on to become a series staple. He's in kind of all kind of games since then. Oh, nothing here. No worries. Still neutral then, because of our 20 rupees. Yeah, he's in all sorts of games, like appeared most recently in Echoes of Wisdom, where he kind of became obsessed with clockwork. He was also in Link's Awakening's remake on the Nintendo Switch. Oh, maybe I didn't have him... I might have not had him lined up enough. Okay, let's try that. Okay, maybe not. Alright, I'm burning through rupees now. Okay, let's go here. Come on. Hey, what did I get? Okay, 5 rupees. Could be worse. Better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Yeah, he was in Link's Awakening's remake. He did his he was the guy in charge of the dungeon creating minigame, which was kind of a cool use for him. But yeah, he's an awesome character. Also appears in Old School RuneScape, if anyone plays that. 1 rupee, not great. Yeah, he's found in Mauritania in Old School RuneScape, which is quite cool. We can hear a gold Skulltula here. That's kind of one of the ways you know they're about. You hear their scuttling. But this one, although we could kill it with the slingshot, there's no point because we couldn't get its token. We need an item that we get later on in the game for that. Alright. Come on. I believe. This is the spot. No, nothing. Okay. Again, I can't see my rupee count. I said in episode 1, oh, maybe I'll change the HUD so I can see my rupees. So we're kind of playing this game blind at the moment. But while he's doing that, I'm just going to see, will he stop me opening the gravestones? Oh, no, he won't. Okay, interesting. So weird that the kid says, I'll tell Dampé. So yeah, why not? Let's just do this while because he's walking very slowly. So in here, this is a pretty interesting location. So it's the same layout as the Royal Family's tomb, you know, the same kind of stonework or whatever. So we can assume it's connected to them, as with most of the graves here. And another sign that it's connected to the Royal Family, we get the Hyrulean Shield. So like it said in that shop, the Hyrulean Shield is used by Knights of Hyrule, which is cool. Which, Skyward Sword, as I said before, introduced the Hyrulean Shield as a reward for Link made by the Thunder Dragon, and it's the only shield in the game that will never break. But then now in Ocarina of Time, it's explained that it's used by Hyrulean Knights. So I wonder if it became part of the legend of the hero in Skyward Sword, and that's why Hyrulean Knights use it, kind of in his honor, like honor of the hero of the sky, which obviously now by this time has been forgotten, and it just becomes the shield of the Hyrulean Knight. We can use it as Child Link, but we just tortoise mode. We can't move and do it and use it, but it is kind of useful. You know, as Child Link, there's a few times where it is useful. It just won't work against, like, you know, business scrubs or anything. You have to ping something back. Okay, I'll let you do one more step. All right, this is it. Come on, I believe. Give me the heart piece. 5 rupees, alright. He's not playing ball. We'll keep going, We do want this heart piece. And I just enjoy hanging out in the Kakariko Graveyard. You'll, you know, maybe, I don't know, do a shot every time I say this throughout this LP. But I just cannot wait to see what this looks like in the remake. Another 5. Because this is, again, so atmospheric for the Nintendo 64. And you see, like, that dark, gloomy, cloudy sky. And the mountains and the forests just beyond, kind of giving a suggestion of what there is around Kakariko. So, you know, we can kind of assume that there's some dark woods and mountains overlooking, but we never see. We're never able to visit them. Which, I perhaps doubt we'll be able to visit them in the remake. Nothing here. But at the very least, this area will look very different when we play it on Switch 2. Come on, heart piece. Another 20. Okay, so we're not losing rupees. But we're not getting our heart piece yet. The 3DS version of this heart-pounding grave-digging tour actually introduced a really, a kind of a game-breaking bug where I'd like to have shown off that Dampé can dig up a heart piece. You'll just have to take me at my word at the moment. Nope, still nothing. But in Ocarina of Time, he can only dig up 1, which makes sense. You know, he digs up a piece of heart, you've completed his grave-digging tour minigame. But the 3DS version, for some reason, forgot to add a cap on that, so there's no cap of 1. So you can just keep doing this, and he can keep digging up pieces of heart, and you can get... Okay, no, nothing there. So you can get infinite pieces of heart by just constantly having him dig them up. Which is pretty interesting, and it kind of gets quite funny that, you know, the row of hearts goes much further than it should. Yeah, in that version of the game. I'm going to let him dig these two. If that doesn't work, there is actually another piece of heart we can grab in one of these gravestones. But I do want to do this because, you know, it is a piece of heart and I do want to get all of the pieces of heart. So, if we let him come down here. Okay, we'll go there. Stop, stop, stop. That'll do. No, no, no. Okay, we missed the first one, but that's fine. I don't have enough rupees. Okay, finally. All right, finally I'm out. Okay, maybe we'll have to come back for that in a second. But before we do, I'm just going to pull back. I believe it's this one. It's one of these ones. I want to say it's this one. That sounds good. Yeah, we can drop down here. Yeah, we get down here. There's another Redead just kind of twitching there. Bent down in the fetal position. Just everything about these guys is horrible, but obviously we can make this fight a little bit easier for ourselves by playing the Sun song. So now we can kind of, you know, fight him on our own ground, so we can get behind him, start with a jump attack, and then panic spin attack till he's dead. We don't want to get grabbed. There we go. You'd think after, you know, almost 30 years of playing this game, I wouldn't go into panic mode every time, but I still do. But yeah, when you kill... Oh, okay, thank you, Navi. Yeah, when you kill them, they don't immediately despawn. They kind of just crumple and lie there and then fade away after a little while. And perhaps I'll show it off later in the game. If there are other Redeads in the area, they will shuffle over towards a downed Redead and then bend down. And I don't know whether you're meant to... I need to play the Sun song. I don't know if you're meant to believe that they are mourning the dead Redead or perhaps consuming the dead Redead, and I don't know which one's more horrifying. Both of them are pretty disturbing possibilities. Oh wow, we spawned on top of the chest. That was cool. Often you just get pushed out of the way. But yeah, this is another heart piece, which is good. Very needed. Brilliant. It's actually... No, that's our first piece of heart. Okay. But with 0 rupees left, or at least less than 10 rupees left, do I go for one more? Okay. Well, first things first, actually. Now Dampé's out of his house, we can go in. So I just wanted to show this off. Which is one of my favourite areas in the game for some reason. This tiny little hut. Kind of always feels a little bit eerie. You know, it plays the same music as inside the Deku Tree. Can't even press C up for a top-down view in here. It's just this one look at it. And obviously there's the Gravekeeper's Diary. The Gravekeeper's Diary is here. Do you want to read it? When I dug a hole, I found a treasure that stretches, boing, and shrinks, boing. It's so fun. I'll never give it to anybody. Little hint for something Dampé will help us with later on in the game. But yeah. Always loved this little hut. Gravekeeper's hut. Dampé's little shack. Awesome. But yeah, I thought, you know, before we leave the graveyard, because otherwise I'll have to come back and do more grave digging, I'm just gonna... I'll grab a couple of rupees. Okay, is that enough? I don't know. This is a, you know, a little bit of a limitation that I can't see my own rupees, but maybe that's enough. Let's see. Come on. Give us one more go. And this is the heart. Come on. Do you want me to dig it? Come on. Here we go. Oh, red rupee. Okay, that means I can keep playing. Okay, right. Strap on in, dear viewer. You got more heart-pounding grave digging to go. Hopefully we get it soon. Otherwise, you know, this whole episode will be running around in the graveyard, chilling with Dampé. There's worse people to hang out with, though. I think this guy's a pretty friendly chap. Look at him walk. Come on, make the turn. But yeah, the graveyard in particular is another big... here we go. Come on, one more step. Big clue towards the Hyrule Civil War that I've kind of mentioned throughout... There we go! Heart piece. Very nice. Mentioned throughout the playthrough that the Ocarina of Time is set just after the Hyrulean Civil War. You get all these graves connected to the royal family. And as I said, we'll come back later for the most explicit look at the history of the royal family and their connections to the Civil War later on in the game. But for now, since we're in Kakariko Village at night, there's a couple things we can pick up. So if we head up here, because like I said earlier, there are certain Skulltula that only appear at night, like this one here. So once you've got the Sun Song, it makes it a lot easier to collect a lot of these guys. We'll grab that, which is our number 6. Hopefully, well, I think actually, yeah, definitely, just throughout Kakariko Village now at night, we'll be able to get enough to go and get our first reward from the House of Skulltula, which would be cool. Like that as well. 7 in total. I need to try and remember. Ah, okay, there is one here. So this one, oh, first, there's this guy beneath the tree. So as I mentioned in the last episode, we know that the Master Craftsman, the guy who was sat here in the daytime, has a son who he thinks is a lazy disappointment. And this is him. People are disgusting. My own father and mother are disgusting. You must be disgusting too. And that's all this guy says at this point in the game. But he's involved in this big side quest that we'll be taking on later on in the game. And he actually has one of the most tragic stories in Zelda. He's obviously depressed, obviously feels unloved by his family, finds everyone disgusting. And he just sits here under the tree at night. And that's all he does. But I'll get to his story more when we do that quest. But we can roll and bash into this tree. And a Skulltula comes out. I think we can only do this one at night, maybe in the day. I've just realised I missed a gold Skulltula on the way to Hyrule Castle, the tree that Kakariko Graveyard sat under. We could have got a Skulltula from there. So maybe I'll go pick that up soon if I remember. But that is the 3rd one in Kakariko. And I believe there are 5 we can gather here at night. So there's one up on that tower, which I'll do in a second. And one should be found on the wall here. Yep. Nice, another token. And that is 9. Brilliant. So yeah, the 10th that we'll get from up here. There's a guy on the roof there. The 10th we can get from up here should bring us to our first reward, which is what we want. And I think... Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, forgot about that. It's actually on the ladder, so we'll need to snipe that first. So if we switch to the slingshot. There we go. So I wonder if they'll include... again, N64 aiming. Because they have to include gold Skulltulas in the remake, but I wonder if they'll include the same number, 100 of them, because it's a really nice amount, in my opinion, that it gives enough that there are plenty that every player will collect a good amount, regardless of how they're playing through the game. But then it's not kind of a ridiculous amount that kind of just feels silly, like in Breath of the Wild. So if there is a way, I'm pretty sure, to do a side hop and land on this roof. Yeah, so we can talk to this guy. Hey, good to see you again. I'll give you this as a memento. To grab us another piece of heart. Which isn't the intended way to get up here, but, if it works, it works. Now we're stood up on the roof of this area, which is quite cool. Did I grab the heart? Yeah, I did grab it. Yeah, okay, so we've got all the Skulltula. I forgot that I just grabbed it. So now we can head back to the House of Skulltula and get our first reward. So now we've obviously got 10. We've collected 10 tokens of the curse, and... Oh, not this guy. Wait, he's the last one, yeah. Okay, but since you've destroyed 10 spiders of the curse is starting to weaken. Did the kids who returned to normal give you any rewards? You should know that the only way to become very rich is to destroy as many spiders of the curse as possible. There are some tricks to finding them all. First of all, you'll have to hunt at night. Secondly, keep in mind that they love soft soil. Pay close attention to your surroundings. Please, we're counting on you. And is it... Which one is it? Oh, wait, no, he'll be on the floor, won't he? Here he is, doing jumping jacks. So yeah, return to normal. The curse has been broken. Thank you. Here's a reward for you. Hey, and we get an adult's wallet, so we can carry more rupees that I still won't be able to see. But it's nice to know that I'll have a higher number of invisible rupees. And and he returns to normal. So yeah, at different kind of intervals, you get more and more of this family returning to normal until the big guy in the center, who is absolutely horrifying, scuttling back up to the ceiling. And yeah, he returns kind of later on. But that's done for Kakariko now. So we've got everything we needed from the graveyard, from Kakariko at night. So I am going to head back towards Hyrule Castle Town, just because there's a couple of things we can do. Now we can turn it easily to night, which we could have done before, but it's just a little bit more of a pain that we'd have to wait until nighttime. And I'm also going to grab that one Skulltula that I forgot about, the one on the tree on the way to Hyrule Castle. Then I think we'll probably visit Lon Lon Ranch. I think we can do that in this episode as well. We're at the point in the game now where we know where our next challenge is. We know we have to head to Death Mountain. But until then, there's various other things we can do. Skulltula. Skulltula? Style Child. Like Navi said, I'm going to turn it to day just to open up the castle. Like Navi said, she's wondering what Saria would say if we return to her. So we can return to the Kokiri Forest and go and find Saria in the Lost Woods, which might not have time for in this episode, but it's still something that we'll definitely do. I'm just going to turn it back to night here, because now we're on this side of the gate. It won't matter, you know, when the gate shuts, we'll still be allowed in. We can do this and kind of ride it up. Just because we want to be in. Wait till it's night proper. There we go. What? Okay, I've never seen Style Children spawn there inside the gates. Come on, guard. You got something to do. Does he have different dialogue at night? He does. Kids shouldn't be wandering around town at night time. Stay indoors until morning. But actually, we do have different dialogue that I mentioned in the last episode from Mr. Potts himself. Man, I am so tired. The night watch is so boring. I wish some ghosts would come out or something. Hey, I'm really interested in ghosts. Studying them is a hobby of mine. But you never know, the time might come when that kind of knowledge might be useful. So, previously, he said he wishes there was more trouble, and now he's just kind of gone full mask off and says that he loves studying ghosts. So, that's worth keeping in mind when we return to Castletown as an adult. And if we remember what he says and compare that to the character that will be stood in his place in the adult half of this game, things will start to make a lot more sense regarding that guy. Anyway, let's head out. And as the guy in the back alley said, there's dogs roaming around Castletown at night. A few other mini games will open up, but I'm not gonna touch them yet. But until we do, we need to find one dog in particular. I think this guy. So if we go near him, actually we can talk to this guy from the window. It seems like it's taking forever for dawn to come. The view of Hyrule Castle in the morning sun is so fantastic. Okay, but now we've got this particular dog, this white dog here following us. We can lead him into the back alley. So this dog isn't just any dog. This is Richard, who Mamamoo Yan's character, I think it's this house, was missing. So if we step him, we've got Richard with us. Here we go. Richard! This is my little Richard. Thank you, thank you. I'll give this to you as a reward. And we get another heart piece, giving us 4, and a new full heart container, which is very nice. Does she say anything else now we've done that? At night, it's dangerous to go out with all the wild dogs around. No, I wasn't warning you. I'm worried about my puppy. Oh, no, I wasn't warning you. I'm worried about my puppy. So she's talking to Richard. Awesome. You know, yeah, good. We like Richard in this house. Yeah, I'll go grab that Skulltula that I missed. But that's everything for Castletown at night, outside of those mini-games that I mentioned. What do these guards say? Oh, it's the same dialogue. Yeah, stay indoors till morning. We're not just any kid, though. We're the hero of time. We're all good. So yeah, this is what I missed. If I knock into that, a Skulltula will spawn. It should be our number 11. Brilliant. So that's everything done there. So I think we will head to Lon Lon Ranch to see what's cooking over there. And then we'll see how long that's been, but that'll probably round out this episode. I'm looking to keep them all around about an hour. As I said last episode, I'm going to be uploading these every Saturday. So this should, except the first weekend where I uploaded twice. Oh, I'll need to play the Sun song to get out. Yeah, I uploaded twice in the first weekend because I wanted to just kind of jumpstart the series. But every other weekend, every other video, except for those ones, will be on Saturdays. But as I said, depending on the release date for the remake, if we get news and it's earlier and it doesn't seem like I'll be able to consistently do Saturdays and complete the series before the remake, I'll increase maybe to 2 videos a week, but I'll let you guys know. But yeah, let me know in the comments if that works for you. I really appreciate you watching. You know, if you're this far into episode 3, hopefully the series is some, you know, you're getting some enjoyment out of the series, out of this. This isn't a speed run. This isn't I'm not by no means particularly great at Ocarina of Time, despite how much I've played this. But I do just love this game and this world. And like I said, I just wanted to take it nice and slow, explore everything, talk to everyone that seems relevant, and just take it in like this. Lon Lon Ranch. What a theme. So, this is where Talon and Malon, who we met at Hyrule Castle, live. So, Malon is out here in the field. Let's go do this first. We get these horses running around. When this game came out, I wasn't really aware of anything when this game came out. So I was born in 1997, this came out in 1998. But still, it's one of the first video games I ever played. This and Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64 that I had as a kid. They're so kind of deeply woven in my subconscious. But I do remember, you know, I've got really early childhood memories of reaching areas in Ocarina of Time. And this is one of them. Just seeing, you know, like the horses run around. It seemed so magical. It really did capture what they wanted to capture, which is, this is a world for you to explore that they give you on a cartridge. And it really, really captured that back in the day for me as a child. Oh, it's the fairy boy again. I heard that you found my dad. How did you like the castle? Did you see the princess? Hee hee. Dad came home in a hurry after you found him. Hee hee. Oh yeah, I have to introduce you to my friend, fairy boy. She's this horse. Her name is Epona. Isn't she cute? Yes, she is. It seems like Epona is afraid of you, fairy boy. My mother composed this song. Isn't it nice? Let's sing together. So yeah, when we're near Malon, the music changes to introduce her singing as another instrument in it. I mean, as I said that, it reaches a part of the song that she doesn't sing on. But she will in a second. And it loops back round. There you go. But if we whip out the ocarina, she will... Oh, maybe I need to be close to her? There you go. Oh, cute ocarina. Are you going to play this song with that ocarina? Okay, this is the song. This is the theme of Lon Lon Ranch, which is Epona's song. So we never find out who Malon's mother is in this. There's one line of dialogue that I'll show off later in the game that you can get from Talon if you wear either the Gerudo or the Goron mask. You can talk to Talon. And there we go, Epona's song. So Epona will like us now, because we can play her song. Yeah, you talk to Talon with those masks. Kabora flying overhead, still watching our journey. And he'll say, oh, that reminds me of my wife. Which, considering Malon has red hair, it's not a stretch to consider that her mother may have been one of the Gerudo. Obviously, in this game, we've only met Ganondorf so far, the leader of the Gerudo. He's a man, but he is the only male Gerudo. The rest of the Gerudo are a race of warrior women, to whom one male is born every century, who's destined to become their king. Although, if you speak to Talon wearing the Goron mask, he has the same dialogue, so maybe it is just a bad joke at the expense of his wife. It's a little bit unclear. Yeah, we never see who Talon's mother is, who Talon's wife is, Malon's mother. Let's grab a rupee. I think we can do this in the daytime. Yeah, you can do these ones. The tree ones you can do in the daytime. The other ones you can't. But now we've got Epona's song. I'll go into the farmhouse first, but there's one other thing, or a couple other things actually we need to come back for in there. So this is Talon's farmhouse. Talon and Malon's house. This giant farmhouse here. And this is the stable over here. So I guess first we'll go into the stable, just to see what's going on in here. There's no point in doing this, there's nothing we can do, but we can talk to Ingo. I can't believe that I, the great Ingo, am working on this dump of a ranch. Because the owner is so lazy, I always have to do all the work around here. I, the hard-working Ingo, should be in charge, not that lazy bum Talon. Another little hint of what might happen in the future in this game. But also, this is Luigi. This is the Luigi to Talon's Mario, which is cool. And there's a cow and a cow. If we go near a cow, and if we play Epona's song, moo! What a nice song. It reminds me of the pasture. That song makes me feel so good, I can produce a lot of milk. Oh, that's too bad. If you had something to put it in, I could give some to you. Oh yeah, I forgot. We've got bugs in our bottle. But yeah, if you want milk, which we will actually get in a second, you can play Epona's song for the cows, which is a cool little thing. But let's head into the farmhouse. But before we do, just keep that sign in mind. Not the sign over there. This sign just outside Malon and Talon's house. If you keep that in mind, it'll become relevant to something in a second. But of course, Talon is asleep, surrounded by cuckoos, which, you know, I don't understand how he's sleeping, but he is. Mumble, mumble. Huh? I'm awake already. What? Well, I'll be, if it ain't the forest kid from the other day. By the way, thanks a lot for waking me up. It took some doing, but I finally got Malon back in a good mood. So, what are you up to today? Got some free time on your hands, you say? Well, how about a little game? These 3 cuckoos I have here are special super cuckoos. I'm going to throw these cuckoos into that there gaggle of normal cuckoos. If you can pick out these 3 special birds from among the normal cuckoos within the time limit, I'll give you something good. If you can't find them, I win. It'll be 10 rupees. Want to play? Sure. You have 30 seconds. Alrighty then, get ready. Here go the super cuckoos. Start looking. Right, so now we have to find super cuckoos. That's one of them. Keep it up. So the way you find them is just by picking up cuckoos. And it's probably best usually to throw the ones that you know aren't super cuckoos in the corner. There we go. Just one more to find. Just so you kind of... didn't do it there. But just so you keep track of the ones you've checked. Because this is a pretty frantic minigame. But either way, we did it. Golly, I'll be darned. It's plumb incredible. That's the last one. You found them all. Come on over here. Hey, you! You've got the talent to be one of the world's best cowboys. How'd you like to marry Malon, huh? Yeah, sure, let's do it. Haw haw, I was just kidding. Just kidding. I think you're a little young for that, aren't you? Haw haw haw. Oh, I'm proud to present to you a sample of our very own Lon Lon milk. You'll be energized the moment you drink it. After you drink it, you can bring back the bottle and buy a refill anytime you want. There we go, Lon Lon milk. So that's what we would have got from the cow. And it does 5 hearts per drink, 2 drinks per bottle. So really useful item. Obviously the bottle is kind of a big reward from that, because like I said, it's 1 of 4. But yeah, if we drink that, we could replenish it with the cow. But now, if you keep in mind, actually before, yeah, if you keep in mind the sign we saw just outside, we can go upstairs and we can find this, Malon and Talon's bedroom. Where there's one bed, table with a little flower in a vase, chest of drawers and a wardrobe, some pots. We can steal some money from these hard-working farmhands. Yeah, there's no point in this. There's no point in this area. There's no collectibles or anything. It's just a little area you can go to. But the sign outside translates to inn. And there's unused dialogue, or dialogue in a previous build of Ocarina of Time, not this version, that suggests that Link would have once stayed in an inn in Lon Lon Ranch, which would have been run by Ingo, the guy in the stables. Which, if you take that in mind, if you bear that in mind, this desk thing that Talon is resting against could be a check-in desk for an inn, and if we paid the money, we'd be able to go up the stairs and rest in the bedroom that currently, in this final version of the game, has no purpose. So it's a really interesting place with, you know, potential history based on past versions of Ocarina of Time. But the final things we've got to do in Lon Lon Ranch, we'll turn it to night, because there's another Skulltula out skulking in the dark that we'll have to hunt, who's all the way kind of over at the back. We can already hear him scuttle. Actually, no, we can probably hear this one scuttling. Where is it? Or is it on the farmhouse? Yes, here, up here. So there's another one. There's actually another two, I think, in this area that we won't be able to get yet, just because, again, we could shoot them, but we won't be able to collect their token. So we'll have to come back for that. But it's not too bad. I don't feel Ocarina of Time is particularly bad with backtracking. And again, not to kind of repeat myself, I find this world so enjoyable and so immersive that I don't mind returning to similar locations or the same locations again. And whoa, okay. Dive bombed by this guy who is a gway. I got that. A gway, yeah. So, you know, little kind of bird enemies. There's a couple interesting things with them. But perhaps I'll show that off later in the game. So we've got our gold Skulltula. The final thing we'll do is we'll head over here to the silo in this part. If you played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom recently, the layout of this area might seem a little bit familiar to you. It was actually reused or kind of referenced by the Mabe Village ruins and the Mabe Ranch, which actually has the same layout as Ocarina of Time's Lon Lon Ranch. Just like the Temple of Time in that game, it's just awesome to see locations that we're so familiar with from games like Ocarina of Time ruined, you know, and in disrepair in Breath of the Wild. It kind of really sold the idea that this was the very end of the Zelda timeline, you know, thousands of years after every other game. But now we're in the silo. We can move these crates of Lon Lon milk. Can we climb up this one? We also have to move... let me have a look. I'm so bad at these sliding puzzle games, even though this is a very easy version of a sliding puzzle game. You just got to move these crates out of the way, and there's a secret... Not do that. There's a secret area we can get to. So if we pull this one down... And then we should be able to just move this one across. Will that give us enough room? Yeah, we should be fine, because we can sneak in here and push it. And we're all good. And then there's this secret tunnel at the back. We crawl through and we get into the silo itself. So, because this is weird textures on the wall. Obviously, there's a piece of heart in here, which is what we're here for. Which I assume the textures on the walls here, and I assume it's meant to be grain, considering this is a silo, but then the heart piece is found in kind of, you know, a pile of hay or straw. Yeah, a little bit odd, because obviously silos and farms are used for feed most of the time. Anyway, like these cows in here, chilling, eating their hay. Good for them. But I think with this beautiful view, hopefully I don't get attacked by gways to ruin the view, beautiful view of Lon Lon Ranch at night, I think that's where I'll end this episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Thank you all so much for watching, and as I said, the next episode will be out on Saturday, and expect new episodes every Saturday from now on, unless I change it, and if I do, it'll just be to speed up the releases of these to make sure I can squeeze the whole game in before the remake drops. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe to this channel, Zeltic Plays, if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Back away! Cheers, guys!